That's it! I've come up with a new recipe. Okay, like it or not, if you live in the north like me, you have to face the facts. It's winter.
You mean winter as in igloos and Eskimos and penguins and ice?
Yep. Now, as I've said before, I don't mind winter levels. In fact, when they're done right, they can be a highlight of a game. Winter just has a lot of potential for great level design, beautiful music, and absolutely breathtaking aesthetics. So in keeping with the season, I'm listing off 12 such levels that just do it for me. Whether it's the level design, the appearance, the gameplay, or whatever else, these levels put the win in winter. Now I made this a top 12 so that I could give you all 12 days of Christmas in one go. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, no harm, no hate, I'm just being generous today. So bundle up, because it's game time! The main event of Monster Hunter is, has always been, and will always be, the giant monsters that are just waiting to sink their teeth into your soft, malleable flesh. But what good is hunting monsters without their natural habitats? We can't fight in man-made arenas all the time, right? The series has always had some good-looking environments, and the frozen seaway from MH4 Ultimate is far from an exception. Set along the shores of an Arctic coastline, this environment where the ice meets the water is a great place to wet your blades on some beasts. As long as you either bring hot drinks or a set of armor with cold resist. Otherwise, well, your stamina is going to drop faster than Emerin. The area itself looks nice, the ice makes for a great aesthetic, especially near the shoreline, and you have a wonderful view of the ocean. The ice cave at the peak has that nice, creepy, yet beautiful feel to it. Layout is also effective, with hills and ledges to take advantage of the series' increased emphasis on verticality. You've got some nice places to jump from in order to mount a monster. Of course, what's a place like this without monsters? And this place has quite the lineup. We got the Lagambi, the Zamtrios, the Kushala Daura, and, oh my god, kill it with fire!
Jump, slide,
Shit, out of my face! Yeah, despite my love for the Mega Man franchise, even I can't deny that it hasn't always been the best with ice and snow. Ice physics in particular have been a constant issue. But to find our next entry, we'll have to flash forward a couple centuries. Leave it to the good old Crimson Crusader to give us what we all want. Mega Man 03 is honestly my favorite of the 4 games in the generation because it does so much right, both in terms of story and level design. The Snowy Plains mission is a good example of the latter. This level has you storming through Neo-Arcadian forests in a race to retrieve possible data on Vile and Omega, and the action is fast-paced right from the start. Not only do you have enemies hiding in snow, but you also have hammer-swinging snowboarders, and you can even hijack their rides to get down the mountain quicker and not have to worry about incessant reminders. The aesthetic here is different from a lot of other levels on this list. It's not high on the beauty scale, but it does convey a stark sense of desolation, which, considering the circumstances, is very fitting. Also, the music is one of my favorite level themes in this game, particularly because of the use of the ever-versatile piano. Top it off with an Alaskan robo-worm and a relatively short fight with Glacier Lecaque Tank, and you've got something worth the ride down. One of the reasons I love Xenoblade Chronicles so much is the beauty of the world in which the game takes place. Each area of Bionis and Makanis has its own unique marvel to it. Among my favorite areas to look at are Aerith Sea, Satoral Marsh, and my pick for this list, Valak Mountain. Just looking at this place gives off that aura of tranquility. When you're not dealing with any of the local native fauna, that is. The snow and ice are really beautiful and are a joy to behold during the day. But when night falls, oh my lord, when night falls, all the ice starts to give off a heavenly golden glow, and it feels like a holiday light display of nature. Just what causes that glow, I have no idea, and to be honest, I don't care. The music also changes significantly between night and day to reflect the change in visuals, which I always thought was a nice touch. This is also a significant area in terms of the story. I won't spoil all the details for those of you who have yet to play this game, but let's just say that there's plenty of shit that goes down here, and a few revelations that may well throw you for a loop. Also, if you're especially prepared, this area is home to some of the game's super bosses, one of which is level 120 and counters every hit with instant death. Yeah, you're gonna need to do some farming to even have a chance. Undertale is a game that I've been hesitant to talk about until fairly recently, mainly because I still have bad memories of Flowey crashing my stream. But I figure now's about as good a time as any, talking about one of the first areas in the game. And to be honest, I didn't expect my first taste of the underground after saying goodbye to Goat Mom to be a snowy forest underground. I guess my suspension of disbelief let me tank the fact that there's now snow underground for some reason. I knew I was going to like Snowdin when the first moments introduced me to a couple of the most entertaining characters in the entire game. Meeting Sans and Papyrus was easily a highlight, and their interactions with each other and with you continue to set the pace for the humor throughout the game. Heck, half the puzzles Papyrus sets for you are sabotaged through one means or another. The other half are reasonable enough as well. The scenery is simple yet very effective, and the music contributes to a feeling of serenity, albeit interrupted by the occasional monster encounter. The town also has a warm and cozy feel to it, with a bunch of colorful NPCs, including the patrons of the old Grillbees. And there's also a library where you can find out a little more about the game's backstory. And when the boss fight with Papyrus threw me for a loop by turning the standard bullet hell dodging into a platformer, that's when I knew this game was going to be more than meets the eye. And then there was... the date. I've heard of getting a boner, but this is ridiculous. Okay, take a deep breath, and get ready to go wild. Booyah! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Okay, now that I've calmed down, I think I can say that Snow Peak Ruins from Twilight Princess is a great example of how to add a little something extra in a Zelda dungeon. And apparently by ruins they mean a rundown old mansion on top of a snowy mountain. Well, considering the state of the house, I'd say ruins is a pretty apt description. The stage has a pretty cool mini-subplot involving a romance between a couple of Yetis, if you can believe that. Turns out the lady fell ill ever since getting the mirror shard, so they locked it up and she can't remember where she put the damn key. You end up running all over the place looking for it, and end up finding a bunch of soup ingredients along the way. Good thing the dungeon itself is both well-designed and good-looking. In spite of the mansion's disrepair, it still manages to be pleasing to the eyes. The music is also appropriately atmospheric, offering that feeling of both beauty and desolation. You also get to smash up a lot of ice, both with some cannons that happen to be lying around, and with a ball and chain that you pick up from your friendly neighborhood Iron Knuckle. Once you find the key, you meet Yetta up top and... Yetta? Stop that! You're creeping me out! Whoa! You finish up with a boss fight with the possessed Yetta where you put the ball and chain to good use, followed by a heartwarming conclusion. Aww. I can't believe I'm getting mushy over Yetis of all things. One way to make a winter level stand out, especially in the Mario franchise, is creativity. For instance, how often do you see a level that combines ice with fire? You know, one of the last combinations most people would expect. I gotta hand it to Super Mario Galaxy. One reason that it's my favorite Mario game is that it can show some amazing creativity in its level design. Freeze Flame Galaxy is one of the best examples, and one that challenges your suspension of disbelief. We have one planet with ice, one with fire, and one that actually combines both. As such, it makes good use of both the Fire Flower and the Ice Flower. I especially love how well the Ice Flower is used here, mainly in how you can actually freeze the water below you to create ice to skate on. Oh yeah, almost forgot. Mario can ice skate here, so the ice physics are actually fun. The Fire Planet is pretty good too, though not quite as creative, just lighting torches to make stuff happen. But it's the third planet where fire meets ice long before Sonic Boom even existed, and things really get wild. I mean, we go from winter, to a lava chamber, to ice skating across lava. I mean, what even is logic here? I don't care, I'm having too much fun. Only in video games can you get away with this. Of course, aside from being great playing, Baron Burr notwithstanding, the level has some great graphics and some adaptive music, which I appreciate. I can only hope we get some levels of this caliber from the plumber's upcoming appearance on the Switch. Kirby's Epic Yarn is honestly one of the most charming games I've ever played. Fun level design, an absolutely adorable art style, and a soundtrack that just has that feel-good sound to it. Honestly, I could have put the entirety of Snowland on this list for the variety of winter-themed stages, but Evergreen Lift in particular just puts me in the Christmas mood. Basically, the stage has you guiding a felt star up to the top of a Christmas tree, while you're on a platform slowly carrying you up to the top. Now I know this is somewhat of an auto-scrolling level, and you know perfectly well my distaste for that old cliche, but hear me out. First of all, you have some control over the scrolling, since for one, you start it up yourself by winding up the button on the star, and two, the scrolling stops when the string runs out until you start it again. Second, take one look at this stage and tell me unironically that it doesn't look festive. If you can do that, then your heart's probably a size or two too small. The arts and crafts style of the game is on full display here, with the patchwork tree, the cotton snowballs tossed by the Waddle Dees, and even the pull-away ornaments. The tree even has some sparkly lights. How cute! And the music in this stage sounds like a legit Christmas carol. Yeah, I know it was used first in snowy fields, but I think it fits even better here. Deck the halls with beads and fabric. Fa la 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 la. Evergreen Lift was festive enough, but if you take one look at Freeze-Easy Peak from BanjoKazooie and don't feel the holiday spirit, then you must really not like the holidays. The Christmas spirit is literally everywhere in this level. For one, nearly all of the objectives in this level are Christmas or winter themed. In your mission to get jiggies with it, you need to protect living light bulbs as they travel to light up a Christmas tree, turn on the tree, fly through the star at the top, go inside it, explore a gigantic snowman, slide down on the snowman's scarf on a sled to force a jiggy out of a sick polar bear's stomach, find presents to deliver to that same polar bear's kids like your Santa Claus, transform into a walrus and race that same polar bear in a slalom race, and meet up with another walrus. Yeah, there's a lot to do here, and as expected in a rareware game of the time, there's tons of collectibles to find. And there's lots of space to explore, chock full of snow, presents, and all manner of holiday scenery. It also incorporates winter physics surprisingly well. The ice almost never gets annoying, which is honestly an accomplishment in and of itself. Also, you learn the Beak Bomb for Kazooie, which turns the Breegull into a feathered missile. Aside from the visuals, the music is as festive as all get out and matches the level perfectly. In fact, if this level were originally conceived during the Christmas season, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Jingle bells, grunty smells, Kazooie launches eggs. Oi! Freezer! Cold! I gotta hand it to Tropical Freeze. It did a really good job with its level design. Yeah, it's as hard as titanium-encrusted hell, but it's harder by average not to like the design and creativity of the levels. This is especially true in the case of Frosty Fruits. That name alone should be enough to tell you that this level is just plain genius. The last level before the boss of the Fruity Factory world, this stage takes you through the cold storage section, and it takes the theme and freaking speed skates with it. Or it goes in an icy slip and slide with it, courtesy of all those watermelon springs. That's something you don't see every day, a level that actually makes ice physics fun. And there's plenty more where that came from. We have falling blocks of ice and fruit juice, places where you duck under drills, and even popsicle platforms that start to slide down as soon as you jump on them, requiring you to jump before the 5-second rule takes effect. Also, as per DKC standard, there's plenty of stuff to collect, and a few well-hidden secrets leading to more collectibles, and the usual bonus levels which lead to even more collectibles. But one of the best things about this level is the music. It's a remix of In a Snowbound Land from Donkey Kong Country 2, done by none other than David Wise himself, which is another way of saying that this guy is freaking awesome. In fact, I think I like this version even better than the original. It's like they took the fruit and blended it with great level design and made a super level smoothie. That's gonna make for a filling breakfast.
Most important meal.
Enough people say you know they can't believe. Hello, Sky, we have a bobsled team. When Sonic gets levels right, they really get them right. Case in point, Holoska from Sonic Unleashed. While I can't speak for the HD version, having not played that version, I can safely say that the Wii version is still an awesome level. This level is presented wonderfully, with a great aesthetic and solid level design. The speed of the day stages, combined with the transition from the outside into the ice cave, make for great visuals on their own. The night stages look great as well, combining the aurora effects with the ice environment, and it is simply beautiful. The gameplay works solid as well. The day stages in Unleashed are among the fastest in the entire franchise, and Holoska is no exception. Especially when you start out in a bobsled. Of course, the stuff you deal with on this course is nothing like you'd see in the Olympics. Even when you ditch the sled, you still have a fast-paced romp through the ice caves with plenty of well-placed obstacles and grind rails. Then in the nighttime stages, the platforming is pretty good, and it feels so satisfying to wreck shop against all the enemies in the levels. There's even a solid and rather intuitive boss battle against the Dark Moray at the end. Also, I have to give credit to the music in these levels. It definitely fits the theme. And hey, I can see Eggman Land from here! Alright, time to brush off the dust and talk about one of my favorite indie games again. If you haven't picked up and played Dust and Elysian Tale, you're missing out. The gameplay is exciting and well executed, the story is filled with mystery and intrigue, and the art style and music are both amazing. And one of the best examples of all three is the penultimate area of the game, Blackmore Mountains. First thing you'll notice is that this place is freaking gorgeous. The hand-drawn scenery and the layers of backgrounds make this place look huge, and the snow effects look wonderful. The music also has that sense of majesty and that distinctive winter feel to it. It's the kind of music you'd expect for a mountain hike. As far as the level itself, it's challenging without being too cheap. The enemies are powerful and can take a lot of damage, as is to be expected for an area this late in the game. But the combat feels as satisfying as ever, considering you have so many awesome moves by now, particularly the options with Fidget and the Dust Storm. The exploration is top-notch as well, taking advantage of the abilities you've gained, particularly your brand spanking new double jump. There's plenty of obstacles to traverse as well, including blizzard winds, sharp rocks, and moving platforms inside the cave, and let's not forget the occasional avalanche. As far as the story goes, this level features one of the most powerful moments in the game. I won't spoil too much for those who haven't played it, but let's just say that this is where a lot of things fall into place and things get heavy. Well, at least we can count on Fidget to lighten the mood without even trying.
This is ridiculous. I'm perfectly...
We must protect this precious cinnamon roll at all costs. Who's with me? Alright, here are some honorable mentions that just missed the nice list. The stranded ship from Shovel Knight, for the clever use of those Aurora statues. Operation 006 from the Wonderful 101, slow as hell shooter section notwithstanding. Ficina from Star Fox 64. Can't let you view that, Firefox! Blade Mountain from Pac-Man World 2 for making its ice physics work in its favor. And Windshear Wastes from Borderlands 2, which is also a good opening area. Leave it to the Metroid Prime trilogy to nail things where it matters most. Not only did Metroid Prime 3 give me my favorite ice user in Rundus, but the original Metroid Prime also manages to give me my favorite winter level in Phandrana Drifts. We basically have three distinct areas here, each one with its own unique aesthetic and mood, but all three contribute to the overall feel of this sector. When you enter the area for the first time, you find yourself at the shorelines, and right away, you'll notice that this place looks gorgeous, with ice and snow intermingling with various Chozo ruins, accompanied by absolutely beautiful music. It would actually feel rather peaceful, if not for, well, the native fauna that are trying to rip your face off. Then we transition from the peaceful shorelines to an ominous space pirate research facility, which proves how smart these brigands really are. After all, you do remember the weakness of Metroids, right? This place, in contrast to the shorelines, is downright creepy, as if something could go wrong at any moment. You see what I mean? Then there's Phandrana's Edge, which is partially flooded. However, this is also where you get the gravity suit, so it's all good in the end. Of course, this is a Metroid game, so you're gonna find a lot of other cool power-ups as well, including the Wave Beam and the Thermal Visor, both of which are used in a well-designed boss battle against the rock monster Thardus. What I especially love about this level is the way the ambience contributes to the various moods. The beauty of the shorelines and the edge and the eeriness of the research facility mesh together especially well, creating a sense of wonder that's not easy to match. Combine that with the well-executed level design, the wide variety of enemies, and the myriad secrets to uncover, and you have one of the best areas in Metroid and my favorite winter level. It's a reminder of what I love in Metroid. Now we just have to hope that that teaser at the end of Fed Force actually leads to a game that brings that stuff back. I'm the Quarter Guy, and whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope you all enjoy it to the fullest. As for me, I'm going to be enjoying the company of family, the festivity of the season, and some nice hot mugs of green tea, because if you're living in the same general area that I am, you probably know that it's about as cold as the ninth circle of hell. Well, as the new year begins, I think it's time for me to try branching out into new areas. Let's see. Mega Man. Oh, here we go, Mega Man. What? I love Mega Man. But there's one particular moment in Mega Man that warrants some study. Next time, QG Talks, Mega Man and the 3 Laws. It's game time! Happy holidays, everyone! Thanks for watching this video. As always, if you liked the video, feel free to leave feedback, be it likes, comments, upvotes, or whatever helps. Also, as always, I've got other social media, my Twitch channel where I'm a proud supporter of Extra Life, and my Patreon where you can help support my channel and score some cool perks to boot. Thanks again, and until next time, this is the Quarter Guy, signing out.